Occasionally, I do come across a game with a ridiculous, outrageous sounding premise. Something that would appear more like one of the many inglorious excretions that come out of the likes of Digital Homicide. One of those games that, from the sound of it alone, you are almost positive is going to be little more than one of those hate buy, hate play, hate review kind of games. Only to realize 4 hours later that you have forgotten to blink the majority of that time thanks to the outrageous, ridiculous, insane fun you've been having. And that brings us to Clustertruck, a frantic action platformer from Landfall Games. Now, the simplest way I could think to describe this game is that it's a game of the floor is lava as played by Genji from Overwatch on top of a semi-truck. Yes, as I mentioned before, that does sound ridiculous on the nose of it, and it is a very simple premise. You move through a series of levels with increasingly difficult obstacles to make your way around, all while trying to avoid landing on the ground and staying atop of semi-trucks. And that's really it. That's the whole game. The real variety of the game comes primarily through the level design and the different kind of challenges you can offer to yourself as you complete each series of levels. You are scored at the end of each one according to your performance, and you can use those points to unlock various powers. Things like a grappling hook, the ability to double jump, you can freeze time, you can spawn a new truck, so it gives you another thing to jump onto. There really are a lot of different types of powers to add different play styles as you make your way through. Of course, as we all know, real gamers don't need no damn powers. You see, on stream, I decided to try to make my way through most of the levels completely powerless, going almost entirely on pure reaction time and luck. And I will say, they definitely did not intend the game to be played that way. It's very difficult, and there's a few levels where it does require straight luck to make it through if you don't possess at least some of these powers. You die a lot, but with each death you do learn a little bit more about how that particular level was meant to be approached, and that allows you to see where you should go, how you should handle it. It's actually very interesting. I really enjoyed every minute I was playing it, even when I was about to throw my monitor into the wall. Because you see, one issue I do have with the game, or at least the gameplay aspect of the game, is that there are levels where you can theoretically just stand still on top of one of the trucks, and it'll just bring you through all of these complicated, cool, difficult-seeming obstacles, rendering both them and basically the entire level effectively obsolete. It can be great fun to see it happen though. I did have a freak out the first time I managed to stand still and make it through a barrage of lasers, get to the end without having moved an inch. It was a serious upset, but still great fun, which does make sense, given that the game does emphasize the fact that there are Twitch integration options. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really check out those options. When I play games for review, I'm not interested in playing them as a streamer, and I'm sure there will be streamers out there who will be interested in having a game clearly meant to be with viewers. That's great, but it's not something that I particularly care about, so I didn't get a lot of experience with those features. And for the somewhat more competitive-minded, those of us who like to compare and contrast our abilities and scores with friends of ours, or even just other players, there are leaderboards, which is really cool, as long as you are on Steam and have the Steam version of the game. You see, this is where my real nitpick about this game comes into play. And it's genuinely a good thing that it really doesn't have anything to do with the game itself. I really do enjoy this game. It was worth $15 for me to have a good 4 to 6 hour experience of genuine laugh out loud fun. But it seems to be an unfortunate trend among those studios who do offer us the GOG version of their game. They've crippled it. I prefer to buy my games DRM free and then add them to Steam as a non-Steam game if I want to use my Steam controller or something. But for the most part, I try to avoid giving my money to a direct DRM platform. Steam is one of my more tolerable options there, but I'm still not a big fan of being forced to log into a service to play the games I own. And I understand that a lot of games make use of Steamworks, and therefore when they offer the GOG version, they can't provide every part of the game to the GOG players. I get that. That's really not my issue here. The problem is, if you're going to remove things like the leaderboard, or score sharing, or any of that stuff, take it out of the fucking game entirely. Don't leave us with this blank whiteboard to stare at the end of every single fucking map. It's not cool. It's not fun. It doesn't make you feel good, and it makes you that much more aware of how little respect you're getting from this developer for having purchased from somewhere other than Steam. And frankly, that's without getting into my own personal nitpick, that if you're going to remove features from your game to sell it on a different platform, drop the price commiserately to show that there is a difference in quality. Make sure the people buying your game know you fucked with it, so that the reviews that they're seeing from most people that are exclusive to Steam aren't going to bite them in the ass. Again, overall, especially in this case, it's not a huge deal. It's just a personal issue I take with developers who do this. Go one way or the other. Go big or go home. Either give us the full version on all platforms, or if you remove features, lower the price, or at the very least, remove the blank features from your game. In the end, I still had great fun. There was plenty of wild times to be had while I played, and it had some fair replayability. You can try different ways of tackling the different levels later on after you beat it your own way the first time. For $15, I'd say Clustertruck is a good, solid experience, but you probably want to buy the Steam version.